Okay, hello. Making another video here just to try and answer a few questions that a few people had, because there are quite a few videos out there for this particular sharpener, but they all seem to be in Russian. So a lot of you people asking questions. How does it go together? Does the clamps flex, etc., etc.? And I'm needing to sharpen my Mora chisel knife, so I figured I should just show you guys putting it together, the components of it, how it all works, and then hopefully sharpen a bit of my chisel knife. My DSLR camera is out of battery at the moment, so I'm using my GoPro. Hopefully it's not too wide of an angle and you guys can actually see what's going on. So hopefully I don't cover up the microphone as well with my fingers. Right, so it comes in, sorry the box is not, the lighting's not very great. It comes in this big box up here, and comes basically dismantled like this, with a base plate here, very heavy steel plate, and this part separately. This part here sits nicely into this groove, or you can mount it down straight, bolt it through these holes here straight to a desktop if you've got a more permanent fixture. I want to move mine around, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, let's put you back up on here. Right, so this part comes all together as you see it, like this, all connected. So we just throw it into the base and then use these little turning knobs and they screw it down into the base. And standing true for all the fixtures for this, I've never, after putting them in, I've never had them come loose. Even though knife sharpening like this, it's a very repetitive shaking motion. Usually it's going to wiggle something loose, but never had any of these come loose at all. Okay, so that's fixed to that now, very sturdy. Now the next piece is the angle gauge, where the main bar goes through and puts the consistent angle on your blade. This is not going to come calibrated in the box. This little pin here can easily be bent or moved. On the back side, yeah, I know you won't really see it very good on the GoPro, but on the back edge of the pin, where it pivots, there is another Allen screw which allows you to adjust the pin itself separate from the bar. So if you're able to determine a certain angle and you know, for example, that it's 20 degrees, which I will show you how to do in a moment with an angle cube, then you can adjust this screw and set it to 20, then you know that is 20 degrees. From there on out, you can sort of rely on this, as long as you've not knocked it or bashed it. So this just slides. You'll have to loosen off a grip screw, or not a grip screw, sorry, but a knob screw here, and it slides, very tight tolerance, slides nicely in there. You tighten that up. And that has a grip on the bottom. Obviously this still spins and is free to move up and down. And you can tighten up the brass nut and loosen that off as well for small adjustments. Next is the rod that goes through here. That comes in the box in two parts, which has a threaded piece on the end and a receiving end on this one. We've got to put this through here first. It'll come with two little brackets on it, which is the stops. As you pull it through to stop you going too far. You've got to remove one of those, slide it in from the back, that's what she said, and then add on one O-ring to the front side, and just roll that up there. And now your tightening nut, if you will, like a stop. I call them stops. Don't know what they're really called, but we'll slide that on up there to meet our O-ring. Tighten that up. So now you've got that stop. That's not going to be in the right place, but we won't know until we get something on the clamp. Now, next is your stone clamp, which is ultimately adjustable. Let's unset it. So you see it's going to receive almost anything that you can clamp in there. I have here some cheap stones from wish.com. So to clamp that in there, you squeeze that down and allow that to come down to there and tighten it up. Now it's got it in there, it's grabbed. So they come on these little beveled edged plinths. The same with the ones from Tech Studio. They are mounted on aluminium plates, just the same. You're not restricted by that. So, for example, and I have used this a few times. This is my big Faithful. It's called Faithful Diamond stone plate, 400 and 1000 grit. I have used this in this clamp before. So I'll loosen that off and move it out. Sit the stone in. Now this is a very heavy steel plate, so gotta be careful, but it grips it. It's in there. And you can use that just the same as any other stone. I usually use that for heavy material movement, get rid of a lot of material that needs grinding away or anything. I'll start with that first. Alright, so today we're going to use the diamond stones. Not the diamond stones, the normal stones. Right, so this screws onto the end of the rod here. Like so. And again, you might see that as a weak point. I've never had it come loose. Let's move that around. I've never had it come loose. And it doesn't flex there at that joint either. There's plenty of rod in there, that's what she said, for it not to bend or move. Right, so now I've got this all to balls. So I'm just going to move that on up. And move this down. So now then, the next thing, what holds the knife? At the moment, I've been using, for the longer knives, you get 2 clamps, which can be spaced apart on here. These can be spaced apart for a longer knife. Right now, I'm going to do my chisel knife, so I'm going to use this smaller one. That just fits in there. And now, how that attaches onto there is again with these 2 little thumb nuts. These come in on the back. Make sure it's centered. Just finger tight is plenty. And that's locked on there. Now, here is the point where this is all fixed from. So that feels or seems and looks like a long distance. Does it move and flex? No, it doesn't. It doesn't move at all. With even this long jaw, very, very, very little movement, if any. So that's, you don't need to worry about the angle of the knife changing as you put more pressure on it, because that doesn't flex. Okay, so that's pretty much the machine set up there, as you can see. Now, the clamps are out here now, so I need to move these stops. Like so. And there we go. So, first off, we're going to put in our 120 stone. So, drop that in the clamp like that. It's good to go. Now, my question will be, can I get my Mora chisel knife? Very thick blade. Will it go in the clamp? Because you imagine a clamp will close, or this one will close down like this. So if it bites the spine of the knife first, it won't have a grip. Well, they've thought about that, and these clamps are adjustable in that way. They have another screw further up from where the edge is, so as it closes down like this, you can adjust another screw which will allow them to level themselves out parallel with each other, and then you can close down the tip. So you can move the clamp like this as much as you like. Level them up, close them together. However, you're always going to get a solid grip. Now, these are adjusted with Allen keys. Almost everything on here is Allen keys, apart from the thumb nuts. You don't need anything else.